terrible beast instead of an enemy. Two more fates. Okay, we're getting closer. This is the game now. We are getting closer. Now that everyone has been exposed, including the game, let's see what's behind that door in the lazaret. Let's see the true ending, the actual ending. So, in having said that, my final score for Return of the Obra Dinn, it's now I have this, which you can't read because it's too small, but I have you covered because I'll show you what I actually have. This same information here I show you in this other image. So I have this image you can see now. This is what we have remained, and with some notes that I'll go through in a second. And I also have this other image, which is same but the other half. Now I'll start with the other one. We have 13 people to identify, to give them complete details. In the first sketch, the upper half, we have this person, which in the notebook is chapter 6, profile 2, so 6.2, and we are missing his name. Then we have Mr. X. We are missing his name. We are missing as well the name of this person, the name of this person, and the name of this person. These 6, I mean 5, I can't count. You already know that. These 5 people, we are missing their name. Also, we have this, but this one's in blue because we don't have a profile for this person. But we know his name. We don't know what happened to him. And then we have Bunlalin. We have her name, but we don't know. Actually, we know what happened to her, but we can't put it in a way so that the game accepts that's what actually happened. So she died. How she died, it's a bit ambiguous. Then we have the other half, the bottom half. Here we have this person here, top left. We don't have we had his name, but it was wrong. So we are missing his name. And also who killed him, because he was killed by someone. We are missing his killer, which is actually this person here in the bottom, at the bottom. Then we have this person. Probably we'll start with him. We are missing his fate. Not his name, because I'll tell you why, but we are missing his fate. Also his name, but I think I know his name. That's why. And then we are missing the name of this person and this person, which one of them is Patrick O'Hagan. I think it's the lower one, but we still don't know. Then Whaley, we are missing his fate and the name and fate of this person. This one here is in orange because we have all the details. We are just waiting for 2 more to make a pack of 3 and then be confirmed by the game. You know how it works. The game accepts completely identified people in threes, in groups of 3. So I'll be showing you this image as we keep uncovering identities. Maybe we don't need them, just keep them in mind that, and this person is the third mate, and we don't have a profile for him, so that's why he's also in blue. We have his name, but we don't know what happened to him. So as a summary, we are missing details on 15 people. Out of those 15 people, 13 have profile, 2 don't have profile. Out of those 13 profiles, there are 8 deaths and 5 disappearances, but they are all dead. The only difference Now, at the end of the game, we know the only difference between death and disappearance is that the people who are dead for the notebook is that the body, the corpse, has been found. The disappearances, they all died as well, but the body hasn't been found. So it's a bit unknown. Having said that, we go back here and I'll have a few ideas. Maybe it's not that difficult. In the end, it wasn't that difficult. Let's open. We are here, but nothing. We are doing nothing here. Nothing special. Now we are in the notebook. So I'll start by showing the key that for me to know one person. Here we have the quality. Quality is the role of that person in the ship. And the top ones are the most significant, the most important. They are more unique. We have the third mate, still completely unidentified, but we know his name, we know his face, we don't know what happened to him, we don't have a profile on him. Okay, next one's the bosun's mate. Maybe we can find out who this finally is, but I want to draw your attention to this one. This is helmsman, and there's only one. So there's only one person who can manage the helm. Now, if you don't know sailing vocabulary like I do, because I don't, if you go to the glossary, which is not very extensive, but has some few key terms, there's one for helmsman. And what does it say? Rated seaman in control of the ship's wheel and general movement-to-movement navigation. So there's only one person in charge of the wheel, and in the whole game there's only one person who's been seen doing that, actually here in the sketch. So in the bottom half we have the wheel of the ship for navigation, and there's one person holding it. So I would say this person who was crushed by a terrible beast. I'm not actually sure that that's what happened, but we'll go back to this in a second. So he's holding the wheel. So it's the only thing the only clue given by the game to say this might be the helmsman. So this is Finlay Dalton. And now we have three. Who else? Because I was sure about one. Finlay Dalton. Oh, Wei Lee. Okay. Because there's one memory where these people are being grabbed by the tentacle of the octopus. I wasn't sure if they were crushed by the terrible beast because we don't actually see them crushed. So I was going to revert it or go back or change it to, because they disappear from the ship, so they are not in the ship. If they are not in the ship, they are in the water. I don't think they were thrown in the air and they landed in an island and they are alive. No. So they are in the water. So I was going to change it to fell overboard. But for once, the game is kind and accepted my proposition of fate for these people. Now I would like to go back and take note of the ones that we have confirmed now. This is Davy James, which we thought it was the other one in the stairs with the other mates, but it's actually this one, because it's all the game next to the fourth. So he is Davy James. This would be 9C according to the notebook. So this is one that disappeared, but he is not dead. He is alive in Africa. These four, these two, and these two are the only ones alive. Actually, Henry Evans died, but a year later. These were already confirmed. So the other two, this is famous chapter 8. The other two were these two. Whaley, which is A, B, C, D, E. So it's 7E and 7F. And that makes it Finley Dalton in the picture. And Whaley is number 41 in the manifest. And Davy James. So we have 12 now. 12 people to identify. Out of those 12, there are 8 deaths, 2 disappearances, and 2 without a profile. What else do I have to give? Actually, let's go to the sketch. Here, there's only one person. Here we are missing the same as at the start. We have confirmed this one, Whaley, Davy James, Whaley, and Finley Dalton. So 3 less here. Here are the same. Actually, in the manifest, there's one person, because these are the country of origin of these people. And at that time, in that era, people were like were not usually, it wasn't common to mix races, so they were characteristic. If you see a person that looks like Chinese, according to the game, you can say this person is from China, even though to today's standard they could have been born in Germany from Chinese parents. So according to the game, there's one person who is from Sierra Leone. People from Sierra Leone, I would assume at that time, they are not white. They don't have white skin. Out of the people who are left to be identified, I think there are 2 people who have black skin. And I would say one is from Sierra Leone and the other one might be from India, England, China, Sweden, India, France, England. So who am I talking about? I'm talking about this person. I wouldn't say in first glance that this person is Chinese. This person, I take it that he's black skin in this sketch, very rough sketch, and this one of these 2 look to me like they are black. And then we are missing one Chinese, and that to me is more difficult to identify, but I'll say, because this is what we have now. We have guessing. We know all the memories. We've been going through the memories of all these people for 5 weeks now, 5 days. Kind of, we know everybody. At this point, at this stage, we don't even have to zoom in to know who they are. So this is what we have. We have a lot of guessing and deduction. There are no more proof or clues, or we have everything. So my guess is this person is from Sierra Leone. So if you are from Sierra Leone, you are Hamadou Diom. Okay. And you were spiked by a terrible beast that we already had before. Now, there are 2 people from India. This is one, and I think this is the other one. Why? Because, I'll tell you now, this person, in most of the memories, he's in the main deck, next to the cage of the goat, or like controlling. He's like everywhere. I say this is the ship's steward. So he's Sungi or Sunji Sati. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. So you are Sungi Sati, the ship's steward. The other person, who is also black, must be from India as well. So you are the other person from India who is left to be identified. So you are Abraham Akbar. Those are my guesses. We have 3 new more. Maybe one of them is wrong because they haven't been accepted. What else do we have? Who else? We have Martin Perrot. We don't have a profile on him. Charles Miner should be easy to identify because he's the Bossun's mate. He's from France and he's been torn apart. We don't know who this is yet. Bunlan Lim, we know who she is, her face. We don't know what happened to her, but she wasn't poisoned. My new clue, my new guess is that she was clothed white, even though not clothed struck. I could say hooves, but the creature doesn't have hooves as nails. But let me try. She wasn't struck. So I still think she was clothed. Killed with a sword. Not even close. I would say she was clothed by a terrible beast. But how do you count? She was like ripped, not torn apart because she was in one piece. And it has to be something that includes the ending by a foreign enemy. And clothed doesn't include that. If you select clothed, the game auto fills in the last part, which is clothed by a terrible beast. You cannot choose by who. The game that does that automatically. Maybe she's not Bunlan Lim. Decapitated by a foreign enemy. She was like scratched, but it's not clothed. Not clapped, not crushed, not burned, not axed, not alive. Maybe she was alive when they threw the body into the water. We don't know who. So she fell overboard. Whatever is accepted by the game, I'm going to be surprised because it's not going to be logical. She didn't burn. Maybe the clue is in the following. The memory where she died is not the memory where she was attacked. She was attacked before, logically, but she didn't die in the attack. She died later, but the cause of death was the attack. Torn apart by a foreign enemy. I'll try this, but she wasn't torn apart. And it's level 1. What else? I don't have any idea who Charles Miner is, even though he seems pretty noticeable. So maybe we go through the memories of the Bossuns, so we can see who the Bossun's mate is. Out of the remaining, we have Bunlan Lim, Sunji Sathi, which we said is the man with the stripes. Philip Dahl, we know who he is. We don't know his fate. Li Hong from China. Yes. So this, I'll go back to you. Okay, so we have this Patrick O'Hagan saga, who was speared by an enemy. And we said it's this person. I don't think it's this person. Because if I have to say out of the remaining, one is Asian, from China in this case, I would say the most probable is this one. So this is not Patrick. This is the other... No. The remaining... not you. So it has to be you. You are Patrick O'Hagan, seaman who was speared. And then you who are not Patrick, you are from China. Li Hong. So Li Hong, you are Li Hong. Li Hong, speared by a foreign enemy. Okay. We're not having anyone confirmed with this many guesses. Hamadou Diom, we have you. So there are 3 who we haven't assigned a name. Alexander Booth, George Shirley, and Nicholas Botterill. That's it, those 3. Oh, 4, and Charles Miner. Let's have a look again in the picture. We have this person, no idea. I think he is a top man, because he is with the top man, the top men. So top man. It seems likely that he is going to be a top man. Let's see who is a top man out of those who remain. Nicholas Botterill seems the only one. So we'll guess this person is Nicholas because he is in the group of the top men. Okay. Still nobody confirmed. And he was speared by a foreign enemy. Okay. Now we have 3 remaining. 3 people without a name. Maybe this is one. You are a seaman. You are a seaman. You are a top man. So we could say you are a seaman. Blasted with a cannon. Yes, I know. You died with Christian Wolf. Not Christopher. We have 2 seaman. I won't guess yet. Or maybe I'll guess one, if not the other. Alexander. You might not be Alexander, so you might be George. You might not be George, so I'll say we don't know yet. Blasted with a cannon by a terrible beast. That's correct. And we have this person, who is Mr. X to us. Here's a seaman. Seaman. Let's try you. Crashed by a terrible beast. So let's try you, Alexander Booth. No. And George Shirley. Still no. What if you are George and you are Alexander? What if it's the other way? You are George and you are Alexander. Mr. X is Slippery Raccoon. I'll leave it like this. Who else is left to have a name assigned? Someone here? You are Huang Li? Oh, it might be you. You are in the group of important people. So this is the gunner's mate, this is the gunner. This is the bosun, Alfred. Let's track Alfred to see who is his mate. Appears in 11 memories. Bookmark them and show me in the map. Starting from the bottom. This not this is not the first one. 6 6 6 6. His body is here. We know that. This is 5 3. Let's go here. So, because this is 7 and this is 5. So 3, 5, 6, I think. 6 and 7. And this is 5 as well. Let's start with 3. 3.2. Let's stretch our legs, not too much because we are already here. This is 3.2. The corpse of Hoxenlau.
Hoxenlau, you have been found guilty by self-confession of the murder of Nunzio Pasquale.
No need to listen to the whole conversation. We are looking for the bosun. The bosun is this one, Alfred Klestil. We need to know your mate.
Mr. Wolf, when you are ready.
The chicken wing. So your mate is here in these stairs, but it's not part of the memory. Can we confirm that by having a look at here? So this person is not part of the memory. So we need to go to the next one. After 3, the next one is 5. 5 something. This is 5.1. There's nothing lower than 5.1. This is in the center of the main deck. Let's go there, which is close as well. It's here. These two corpses, they died together. This is 5.1.
What the hell is going on?
Where
What do you know about
are you?
these?
This is the bosun. Actually, now I'm seeing this thing is hanging from his neck. Now I recognize it. I've seen it in the ship, probably in his room. Is this person here? Because if you are not here, there's no point. You are not here. Maybe we can, without having to look at the memory itself. So this is 5.1. The next one is 5.2. We can have a look here. If you are there, and you are there. So let's go to 5.2. 5.2 is the cook. And the cook is here. At least his corpse.
What's your foot in?
Hey there, what's this? Give him tea and I can fry us a solid meal.
It's this person.
Careful now. Take it slow.
What's it, gentlemen? There's a pretty shell here. Let's have a look.
No, get back.
And Alfred is here as well. Might be one of those. Oh, it's the same moment. So he's up there. It is the exact same moment, apparently. Not the exact same moment as that one. It's same moment as this one, maybe. In this memory, you are there, but Alfred's not there. can't go through. And I can't go up from the other side. I think it's the exact same moment, so I think it's at the same moment they both died here, this one died. The cook died as well. The difference on why he's not there is because we can't see him, but both are there. From the top, we can see Alfred, not this person. On the contrary, from the gun deck, we can see both. Here, there's only one of them, so we look for the next one. We need to see them together. Here, they might be together. This is 5.4, and this is John Naples. John, you died next to the lazaret. Actually, we don't need to see them together. So this is Alfred.
20 years my steward and never a doubt on your sanity. Explain yourself. Those are godly beasts carrying a curse.
The cook.
Back or do it all.
This is the artist.
Tie him up and put him in the
This is the
he may yet find.
gunner's mate, Olus.
All's fine, John. Been in worse spots, I think.
The third,
Here's the rest of the leg.
Lars. This we don't know. Carpenter and his mate. This is Mr. X. This is Wasim. Anyone else? No. What I'll do right here, right now, is change the person from India for the person from Sierra Leone. So the crew here, Sierra Leone. So Hamadou Diom is not this person. Might be this person. Fell overboard to his death. And then, if you are not from India, the other person could be from India. Abraham Akbar might be you. Spiked by a terrible beast. There are no more people of color. I find it difficult that Patrick O'Hagan from Ireland at that time was a black person. Nicholas Lee Hong, Captain Stewart, Sungi Sathi, who could be the ship steward? They are also from India, the ship steward. Maybe this, not you, but you are the ship steward. Maybe I'm totally oblivious and people in Sierra Leone are whiter than people in Finland. So you both are from India? No. Abraham from India? Because this Raju looks like from India. I wouldn't be surprised. So the northern part of the India, maybe. William Wasim, India. Yeah, clear. And the other one, Solomon Sayed, as well. Maybe Mr. X is the other one from India, but he doesn't look like Indian. to me. And this Sierra Leone person has to be black. There's only this one and this one left. I don't think anyone here is black. Only the carpenter, but he already is the carpenter. And whoever is the ship steward from India has to be someone in here. And here there's only one person to be identified. Who is this? Maybe you are from India. Now that you say, ship's Sungisathi ship's steward was shot with a gun, but we don't know who. I am convinced that you are Sunji Sathi, the ship's steward, because of the location of this group, and you were shot by this person. Who is this person then? So you are Sunji. Now we have one more person from India and one from Sierra Leone, who could be these two. Let me check, recheck and recheck. Abraham, you could be. Abraham from India. You could be. I'm not convinced. And the person from Sierra Leone, where are you? Here, Hamadou. Hamadou. Hamadou is either you or you because of the skin color. You look like from India. Now that you say Mr. X. So who's the other person from India? Abraham. Mr. X. You are Abraham. Now we have two black people. Only one can be from Sierra Leone. And if it's not you, might be you. We are not getting any confirmation. Let's keep tracking the bosun's mate. Where were we? 5 is here. There's no indication on who. Might be this one, the bosun's mate. So you are in this memory. And you as well. Maybe you are the ship's steward and you are the bosun's. But the bosun's mate is from France. You don't look like from France. You look more like from France? Charles Minor. But you were crushed by a beast. Because they say that. Not because we see, but because they say. Let's see who. Charles, yes. Who else? The other two. Hamadou. And Mr. X is Abraham from India. Okay, we're getting closer. This is the game now. We are getting closer. Let's review that. You are Charles Minor, the bosun's mate, and you were crushed by a beast, but we never see that. That's why we couldn't find you. And you weren't even thrown into the water. You were just fighting the octopus. The book says you disappeared. We don't see you disappear. How can we say who you were? So this is A, B, C, D, E, not A, G, G. So 7G is Charles Minor. Charles Minor, you have been found. I don't remember how the level of difficulty of this one, but this has to be like 4. If there's the top is 3, you are level 4. Because We don't see you disappear. We don't see you die. We don't find your body. We hear your name and country of origin, which doesn't matter because if we hear your name in the manifest, it says the country of origin in one conversation by the bosun. How can we assign you this name? I don't know. And you were confirmed with Abraham Akbar, Mr. X. So your nationality gave you away. Crashed by a terrible beast. So Abraham Akbar. And you are 7.3. And last one was... I'm missing one. Who was it? Who done it? Hamadou Diom. Hamadou Diom, number 55 in the manifest. 5.1 B. So there are 9 now. Out of those 9, 6 died. Oh, yeah. So 9 remaining, 6 died, and then there are 1 missing, 1 disappearance, and 2 without a profile. That makes up 9. Martin Perrot and Philip Dahl, they don't have a profile. Maybe it's related to chapter 8. So we have less options to play with. Let's go back here in the list, the manifest. We have Martin, we don't have a profile. And then we have Bulan Lim, she wasn't torn apart. What happened to you, Bulan Lim? Because you are Bulan Lim from Formosa. Strangle, I think I tried before. I'll change it because just for the sake of not leaving the other one. I don't even remember because I tried everything. Sunji Sathi, you are not shot with a gun. So you are not Sunji Sathi. From India, you are not the ship's steward. Maybe you are the captain's steward. You must be the captain's steward. No, the captain is Philip. That's for sure. And you look like from India. Is there anyone else from India? There's no one else remaining from India. And you are from Sierra Leone, as I thought in the first place. And this is Abraham from India. Who could be then? Who could be the ship's steward, Sunji Sathi, if it's not you? It could be you. Just because it needs to be different. If you weren't accepted before, it's because that information is wrong. I'm interested in finding out who this person is. Have we given him a name? Bosun's mate, Charles Miner. I don't think so. From France. The Bosun's mate has to be in here. I would say it's the other way. You are the Bosun's mate and you are the ship's steward. So you are Charles Miner. No, you are the Bosun's mate. You are Charles Miner. Yes. We just find out. So then that means you were killed by Charles Miner. So we can input that information. This unknown soul was shot with a gun by Charles Miner from France. And then you could be Sunji Sathi, the ship's steward, or the bosun's... No, not the bosun's mate. Am I saying? You are not a seaman. You are not a top man. You are not Philip Dahl. You are not Bulalin. You are not Mati Perot. So you are Sunji Sathi. Who has the Sunji Sathi name? Not you. It's you. By elimination. You are Sunji Sathi, the ship's steward. You were shot with a gun by Charles Miner. I'm 90% convinced. So, review again. Martin, okay. Bulan not okay, but okay. We have you there. Sunji, okay. Philip, okay. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you are not Patrick O'Hagan either. Who is Patrick O'Hagan? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We said this person is Lee Hong. Top man. You are a top man. But is Lee Hong speared by a foreign enemy? It's quite clear. Patrick O'Hagan, Lee Hong, if you are Lee Hong and Boon Lan Lim, they all died in the same memory. It seems impossible to have them identified. Not in the same memory, in the same chapter. Chapter 4, the calling. Why are you not being accepted? This guy and the other guy, who we said is Patrick O'Hagan, they both died in the same chapter by a spear from a foreign enemy. They died speared by a foreign enemy, but their body didn't make it back to the ship because they were thrown into the water. So maybe they fell. This is not bad. This is not. And the other one is Li Hong. Li Hong fell overboard. No, can't be. You were speared. Spike? Not spike, spear. But for an enemy. And you as well. Spear by foreign enemy. So these two, Alexander and George, they don't have faces. And we have two people who, if you don't have, so there are two faces without a name. One is this one, the other one is this one. Let's play this game. You can be Alexander. And then you can be George. Otherwise, you can be Alexander. And you can be George. Let's see who's the third one. George, okay. Okay. And Alexander. Okay. So we have Alexander Booth and George Shirley and Sungi Sathi, the ship's steward. Okay, those are getting closer. Getting slowly closer. But I'm afraid we are getting to that point where nothing's reasonable. Nothing is gonna make sense. Around Patrick O'Hagan and around Boon Lan Lim. You are Alexander Booth, who were the last of the disappearances. No one else here. And then we have George Shirley, 7.4 B. And then we have Sunji Sathi, 6.7. Now, 6 people remaining. 6 people remaining. Out of those 6, 4 died. 2, we don't have a profile, so we can't do anything about them. We can only match the name with a face, and we already did that for Martin Perrot and for Philip Dahl. The third steward, not the third mate, the third steward. Third mate, and the captain's steward is Philip Dahl, captain steward. we have faces for them. We have face for Bulalim. We are missing the fate. Fate of Bulalim. The without counting those two, we have 4 people. Those 4 people are Bulalim. We know who she is. We are missing the fate. Lihong, who is a top man. We think we know who he is, and we know his fate. Lihong. It has to be you, but apparently it's not you. And then Nicholas. Nicholas, you've been hiding for a while. Nicholas Botterill, speared by a foreign enemy. Maybe the cause of death is wrong, but you are all speared by foreign enemies. I don't think the other is one. The other one is Nicholas. And there should be one more. Patrick O'Hagan. Seaman. You are a seaman. Speared by a foreign enemy. So 6, 2 without profile. The other 4, 1 is Bulalim. The other 3, Lihong, Nicholas, and Patrick O'Hagan. And this has been dragging for a while now regarding Bulalim and Patrick O'Hagan. I think this is the 3rd week we are discussing this. We can go to that memory again. There's no point, I think, because I know by memory every pixel. Lihong is a top man. Nicholas Botterill is a top man. Maybe I can swap those. And Bulalim wasn't strangled. Oh, what a surprise. Struck. Now that you say, if there are 6 and 2 don't have a profile, there are 4 remaining. Out of those 4 remaining, 3 can be identified, but the last one, there will be 1 remaining always. That's interesting. I am quite sure you are Patrick. You are a seaman, and out of the... I've never seen you atop the ropes near the sails, but you are. Where are you? Not you, but you. You are here you are here. You clearly need to climb up here. And these are all top men, aren't they? Top man, yeah, they are. Top man. Maybe you are the other top man. You are Li Hong. I wouldn't bet. And you are Nicholas. By elimination, you need to be Nicholas. From England. And you were speared. Like, it's really clear. It's quite clear. I want your profile. Here? It's quite clear. Let's go. 6.2. Let's go there. 6.2. Where's the door? I think it's here. So you are in the end the bosun's mate, who is here. Six point two. 6.2. If that's not spear, I don't know what it is. If that's not spear, someone tells me. It's not glowed, it's not decapitated, not crushed. That's a spear. And that's another spear. So I have the names right. It must be the cause of death. But 3 of them are spear, which is quite clear. I take Bunlan Lim's death is not clear, to me at least. But the other 3, there's a spear through the neck or through the chest. Spear by a foreign enemy. You were speared by a foreign enemy. And you too, speared by an enemy. And you are speared by an enemy. And Bunlan Lim, I don't know. Alive, axed, born, clothed, clapped, crushed, not crushed, not decapitated, drowned. Bunlan Lim makes it back to the ship. She wasn't thrown into the water. Eaten. Electrocuted, expired, exploded, fell, froze, illness. There are causes of death that they don't make sense, like crashed by rocks. Crashed by rocks. Why is the option? If there are no chance, there are no possibility. There's no moment during the game that there are stones or that anyone froze to death. Poison? I don't think anyone was poisoned. It makes sense in the beginning of the game because you haven't seen everything that has happened. So you might be wondering if someone has been poisoned. But once you've seen all the memories and you've seen that no one's been poisoned, speared, spike, maybe it's a spike, but it's a spear. Strangled, struck by hooves, tail, or wing. This refers to animal. Suicide. Torn apart by. Has to be whatever it is, it has to be a foreign enemy. And she's level 1. Lee Hong, Patrick O'Hagan, and Nicholas Botterill. Patrick O'Hagan and Nicholas. Not Nicholas. Lee Hong. But you are not a top man. Patrick, and you are Li Hong. Now, the cause of death is what has to be wrong, but they are speared, both of them. Terrible beast instead of an enemy. Two more fates. Speared by a terrible beast. It's a foreign enemy. It's not a. So that's what's wrong. So we have Li Hong and Patrick O'Hagan, which are 4-1 and 4-2. So now we have 4 remaining. 2 to be identified, which will be now, because now I know what the game wanted us to say, and 2 without a profile. So these sea people are not a foreign enemy. They are terrible beasts. That means that Boon Lan Lim was whatever happened to her, but was done by a terrible beast. The power, whatever it is, it was not foreign enemy. The game wants us to say terrible beast. And then Nicholas, because you are the one remaining, and Nicholas, you are 6.2. It's the same, you were speared, but not by a foreign enemy. It's by a terrible beast. Speared by a terrible beast. Now, Boon Lan Lim wasn't cannibalized. So this is clear now. You were speared, 120%. And according to the game, these sea people are considered terrible beasts. Now, Boon Lan Lim, finally, you will be exposed. Boon Lan Lim, you weren't devoured by a terrible beast, so you were clothed. In the end, I was right, you were clothed, but not by a foreign enemy, but by a terrible beast. Now what? There is nothing left to do on the Obra Dinn. So, Boon Lan Lim, you have been exposed. And Nicholas, and to think you were level 1. Boon Lan Lim and Nicholas were both level 1. But of course, level 1 for who? Now that everyone has been exposed, including the game, let's see what's behind that door in the Lazaret. Let's see the true ending, the actual ending. So we can leave this now. Finally. Finally. We can leave the ship forever. Well, until we revisit chapter 8.
We should go.
Yes, we should.
Storm's nearly about, so we won't be coming back. Finally. Sit down so you don't fall out.
One week later, we know all this, so let's move forward. signed by us. So how do we get to there, to the Lazaret? Because we left the boat. We've left the boat now. This is 1 year later. Or maybe this ending is different?
Can you believe it? A package at this hour? Oh, the thing smells just dreadful. Better you don't open it inside. I'll be turning in now. Tea's in the kitchen if you need more.
This is different because before we had a letter. Now we have a package. Chief Inspector, us. Henry Evans. Henry Evans? Yes, Henry. Oh no, Jane Bird. Sorry. It says in the letter, I write to you with the unfortunate news that Dr. Evans has passed away. He succumbed to his illness shortly after receiving your package. He was very pleased with your correspondence and asked that his gratitude be expressed by returning the book to you, along with the means to complete it. As for the three of us that remain, the Obra Dinn is a distant memory and a dreadful chapter in our lives that we wish to forget. Do not write back. Okay? So I'm grateful. Regards, Jane Bird. So here's the book, the letter. And what is this? That's a hand. Oh, but we have the watch, so we can see this memory. Exactly. Through the watch we can see what happened to this hand. 7.4.
There you are. Collect your things. Where's the key? To that door. Gone. Damn. There's no time. We need to go. Right. Here you go. What are you up to? Nothing, Bruce.
I was wondering, this tale belongs... A friendly but not entirely pleasant monkey companion was sacrificed in the pursuit of knowledge. There you are, collect your things. Where is the key? To that door, gone. Then, there's no time, we need to go, right? think you go? What are you up to? Nothing good. I was the other day, last episode, I was wondering what happened to the monkey because there's a profile for the cow. Why is not a profile for the monkey? First thought is, oh, because he or she, the monkey, is not a person, but we have a profile on the cow. So even though it doesn't count for the 60 deaths, so it's not in the list of the manifest, but there's a profile in the notebook for the cow. So why not for the monkey? And I was wondering, maybe the monkey was alive in the end, but it would say in the disappearances. So now we know. And the worst of it is that it's who killed the monkey. It was the sergeant. So we start this chapter here in the Lazaret. A friendly but not entirely pleasant monkey companion was sacrificed in the pursuit of knowledge. Who was present? The first steward, the sergeant. That's why Henry Evans was keeping that information from us. Let's see who actually is. So this is the third. Seems to be spiked. He's there. And the sergeant. Who else? This is Philip Dahl. Yes. With the chest. Who's next? Oh, who was before? And the third.
A third shell. Captain didn't toss them all. Leave it. Help me lift it. Stop! Why? Well, set you free. Give it the shell. Here. Do it. Hoist it out. To the main deck. Throw it over. Lock the door when you leave. Get the tail, boy. In return, the ship. The Obra Dinn. See it home.
So we don't have to identify or give any information on the monkey. But we can do to Martin. I think you were spiked by a terrible beast now. Now you are considered a terrible beast. But we haven't seen that. We haven't seen the moment when he's spiked, but he has spikes. So that's why. Maybe we change it later. But this is 8.5, and now we are witnessing 8.4. There are 3 more. But there's only one person, who is Philip Dahl, who is on the other side of the Lazaret. So who are the other 2? Let's find out. Actually, I see people.
I'll kill every last one of you monsters. Withdraw the Kraken, or I will kill you all! Ah!
This is the captain. This is Philip. This is Philip. A captured beast fought against its jailer and was spared for the trouble. I'll kill every last one of you monsters. Withdraw the Kraken, or I will kill you all. One other person was present. Who is one other person? Oh, the creature who died and one other person who is the captain. Philip didn't witness it. For some reason. And he's not next? Oh, the other creature. Oh, these are like prisons? Like cells? Oh, to keep the creatures.
Call it off, damn you! This is your Kraken! You brought it here! Send it back!
And unholy creatures' defiant shrieks were greeted with a fatal bullet. Call it off, damn you! This is your Kraken. You brought it here. Send it back. Let's see the last one. Should be Philip. The very last secret.
What's this? Quicksilver. Herre min Gud!
Philip died alone. So, what's this? Quicksilver, Herming good, God in heaven. What's this? So he was opening the chest, I'd say, and he got burned. So he was burned to death. And he was spiked. So this is everything that the game had to offer. Now true. And we can leave. I got just one question left. Rewind. Yes, please. My question is then, who is a foreign enemy? Who is a foreign enemy? There is no by a foreign enemy. So what's the point on having that option in the pool of reasons of cause of death? Why add an option that only induces more confusion? Because I've been like for 3 days, 3 episodes on this playlist saying Bullet Limb was something something by a foreign enemy, and Patrick O'Hagan and someone who now we know is Lee Hong was speared by a foreign enemy, and all the time we were right, but the game wanted us to say not by a foreign enemy but by a terrible beast. And now reviewing all the deaths, there's no one that died because of a foreign enemy. So why have that option? Same as frozen or froze, poison, crushed by rocks. Why have those options? That's a mystery that we might never know. And with this, and we welcome the review overlay. I start as usual with the an overall, and then I'll let you know about these are the positives and these are the negatives of the game. So overall, I arrived to this game, a very popular and awarded game, and I was expecting a detective kind of game, but that's not what I got, because a detective needs to uncover clues and make assumptions, not assumptions, but recreate something that it's not there and match one thing with another thing. And looks like I'm describing the game, because this game is about that, exactly that. You have to match names with faces, with causes of death, all the information. So you need the name, cause of death, and maybe the killer if there's one, not if there's none, and the face of the person. So you make up a whole profile. But where I see the difference is that this is when there's a murder, you are looking for someone, but you are in this game, you are witnessing the moment. You don't have to recreate the scene and find the motive with the weapon, with the killer, and it was you because of that, because of this, and blah blah blah. You are witnessing everything. So you are not a detective. You are an insurance inspector. And actually the protagonist, that's his or her role, because we don't know if it's male or female. So that's their role in the game. When the game finishes, the person who signs the notebook is the insurance company India something inspector. So that's what you do. You are not a detective. You have to uncover the truth and put it in the notebook, but not as a detective. So you are doing kind of the same, but at the same time it's not the same. You are not discovering something that nobody knows. You are witnessing the deaths and the horrors that those events you are witnessing first person, and that's not something that you in any detective would do. So that's my first shock. It was like, oh, so I'm collecting information and I'm putting it in order. That's what I'm doing. I'm not guessing, making assumptions like if as a detective I would do. So it's similar, but it's a shift. It's different. That's what I found. Now, what I got, was I happy with what I got? I was very happy, because the biggest point of the game is maybe not the mechanic or what you actually do, the finding information. That's what you do in this game, but it's not the biggest point. The biggest point is the story is telling you. At least for me, the biggest point of this game is the story that it tells and how it tells this story. So I was thinking I would find something, but I found something similar, but at the same time totally different. I thought I was going to be a detective and I was an insurance inspector. And then I found myself involved in a story that I wanted to know more and more and more, not because of what happens, that also is also true, but how the story is told. And as I was looking for uncovering the secrets of this story, I was doing something that I was still enjoying. It's fun. I don't think it would be, or it'll be, or it is for everybody. To collect information and put it together is something that everybody can, not everybody finds fun, but as an organized mind like I am, I found it fun, so I loved it. I didn't have any 1 second that I was getting bored. Now, getting into more detail, I'll start with the negatives that this game also has. It's not free from faults. It's not perfect. It's awesome, but it's not perfect. And then I'll continue with the positives. The negatives, I have 3. Positives, I got 2. But they are so big, the positives, that they compensate the negatives. So my first negative is my difficulty to navigate through the notebook. It is hard and confusing, because I appreciate that you put the corners. They are interactable, so they are like quick access. You can go through the notebook page by page, or to the end, or to the beginning. And also you can bookmark, but I didn't find it very useful. You can do, if you are tracking someone, you can bookmark the memories of that this person appears in, but I didn't use it that much. And I used it, but it wasn't like very helpful. I found the map more helpful than bookmarking, because the map, it tells you the order with arrows, so you can go in sequence if that makes it easier to track. Moving through the notebook, I found, like, when I was in the index, if I pressed, for example, the crew to see the list of people in the crew, in the manifest of people in the ship, it didn't take me to the list, even though I was clicking on the crew. I think it was chapter 3 or part 3 from the beginning, the index. It didn't take me to the manifest, to the list of people. It took me to the open page where I can access the list. Same as with the map. The map was next page, following the list, following the manifest. I think it was part 4. So if in the index you click on the ship to show you the map of the ship, it doesn't take you to the map of the ship. it takes you to the open page where you can access the map. It's confusing to explain, and it's because it's also confusing when you play. And same with other things, like you click on the index, it doesn't take you there. You have to double click. You have to click in the index and then click on the page. It's confusing. Then on the profile, it was okay. For each person's profile, you have different sections. You can click on them and get information and access different parts of that person's information. That was okay. And also, when you are on one person's profile, you can access the map. But the map you are seeing is the map with this person's memory. It makes sense. But if you go to the map of the ship, you see all of the memories. So there's no one map. There are different maps. It's confusing. At least I got confused. So that's my first negative. The interface could be improved. It's not a massive deal, but it was a pain when I was. And sometimes you click on something you don't want, instead of being able to go back, it's also a mess. You have to repeat a lot of steps to go back to where you were. Especially looking at the map. I looked at the map a lot and it got to my nerves sometimes. My second negative is a lie. The game lies to you. The game doesn't tell you the truth. At least not the whole truth. Because when you finish the game and you return the notebook to Henry Evans, the person who gives you this notebook at the beginning of the game, so you can fill in all the information, says there's one chapter is locked. You can't access the information on that chapter until you return the notebook to him. That's not true. At the end of the game, you return the notebook to him and chapter 8 doesn't get unlocked. So my second negative is unlocking chapter 8. It's a lie. It says twice in the notebook. In the preface, before the index, there's a paragraph that says, I will unlock the information, unlock the chapter when you return the notebook to me. And also, if you insist and go to chapter 8, there's a sticky note saying the same. I will unlock the access to this chapter once you give me the notebook back. So we left the ship. At some point, the guide that takes you to the ship says, hey, when you're done, let's leave because you've seen all the information. You don't need to see anymore. And let's go back because there's a storm coming. So that allows you to finally leave the ship for good and see the ending. So at some point we were happy. We thought we couldn't match and identify any more people, match any more information with faces and everything. Complete the profiles, basically. So we were happy to leave and we left. And I was expecting to unlock chapter 8 so I could continue uncovering any more information that I was missing before leaving the ship. But it didn't happen. So it wasn't true that you unlock chapter 8 when you return the notebook to Henry Evans. So I looked it up on the internet, and then I found out that you unlock chapter 8 when you return the notebook to Henry Evans, the sergeant of the ship, when you have completely identified everyone that you can. There are 60 people, 60 profiles. Before you leave the ship, you can identify up to 58 people on the ship. So that's 2 before the 60. Everybody except for 2 people. And that's like finishing and completing the game. That was something that I didn't like, because then it's like, I will unlock the chapter 8 when you identify 58 people. That's true. It's the same, but at least it's true. You don't go to the ending and expect something to happen. Maybe this is intentionally misleading so that you don't identify 58 people the first time, so you don't see the incomplete ending, because this game has 2 endings. One without identifying 58 people, and the other one which is the whole complete ending that you get when you identify 58 people. So when you get to 58, you get the complete ending. Before that, you get another ending. Maybe that's intentional, so when you finish the game, you see both. You see the incomplete, and then you continue playing until you get the whole ending, the true ending. Maybe that's intentional, but it's misleading, and misleading is not good. So I had to point it out. My last negative, it's something that it was super painful. It's the minorest detail of the list, because moving through the notebook, I think it's more important than what I'm about to say. But it's also painful, and on the later stages of the game, I found this, actually the last 3 episodes, I got this problem that I couldn't solve. And I was sure that I was doing right, but I was not. So there was something, and I was postponing it, I was delaying it until, okay, it'll go through. At some point, my light bulb will light up, and oh, eureka, now I realize, I know what's going on, what's happening, but it didn't. And it got to the very, 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 very end, where we finished without 58 people, so we left some behind. We saw the incomplete ending, and we went back to the ship to finish all those. But the very last, the numbers 57 and number 58 were these people that I couldn't completely identify because of this I'm about to say. So when you have to choose the cause of death, you have a list of possibilities. So in this list of causes of death, there are some that never happen in the game. Like, for example, being crushed by stones. Why is this option available in the list if never during the game is someone being not even remotely close to being crushed or die because some stones falling onto them? Why is this option? Or someone got frozen or poisoned. I mean, in the beginning of the game, you haven't seen everything, so you might wonder, someone could be poisoned later on, or someone might get crushed by stones. But in the end of the game, you realize nobody's been through this. Why is this option available? Why is not bitten by a shark? At the beginning of the game, I don't know if I'm going to be swimming surrounded by sharks, but I could be. So I would be wondering, oh, maybe this is a possibility. So then either you stick to the ones that you're going to use from beginning to end, or you open a massive list of possibilities that you wonder, or there are so many possibilities that you can't find out what's going to happen next. Because one possibility says bitten by a shark, crushed by a giant octopus, thrown in the air and split into pieces by a kraken, kissed by a poisonous spider. There are so many possibilities that you don't know if they are real or the game is tricking you. So this started 3 weeks before last. On the last 3 weeks, I got these 2 characters that I knew, actually 3, but we can count 2 because there was one name for 2 people. But anyway, so we got to the end, and there were 2 people that I knew perfectly how they died, and I was inputting this information. But the game wanted this information in a specific way. I was saying the same as the game wanted me to say, but I wasn't doing it in the way the game wanted. So I was saying, someone died because of reason 1 by this enemy. But the game wanted me to say, someone died for reason X, A, for by not enemy, but beast. So what's the difference? Why the game considers a creature not an enemy, but a beast? I'm saying the same. but it's not going through. My reason or cause of death is not getting accepted, because instead of saying, I'm not saying died because a terrible beast, but because I'm saying a foreign enemy. So there are options. Nobody died in the game because I checked in the end. I was surprised that it wasn't going through, so I checked, then if this creature is not a foreign enemy, who is a foreign enemy? And I checked all of the deaths in the game, and nobody died because of a foreign enemy. So then why have that option? And we all saw that I got that problem 3 weeks before the end. I carried over to the second and the final episode. I was still inputting different options, different causes of death for these last 2 characters, until for some reason I put a terrible beast just to try, because I tried many combinations before that, and one had to be. So in the end it worked, and I realized, it has to be a terrible beast, not a foreign enemy. But it's a creature anyway, and it's a humanoid creature. It's like kind of a mermaid, but evil mermaid. Those are my complaints about the game. Moving through the notebook, it has to be, the interface needs improvement. Unlocking chapter 8 is a pain because it's a lie and it's confusing and it's misleading. And the list of causes of death could be polished, so it's also not misleading and confusing. Now with the positives, and I have only 2. But number 1, it's so positive that it blows away any negatives and even the other positive. My second positive, so the 2 positives, the less important is the music. Music in this game plays a big role. It's very important because you'll see in a minute this game doesn't have much, and I think it's a great massive game because of that, because it's simplified to the bare minimum. And of everything that remains, music is it doesn't, there's not much left after stripping of everything. There's not much left, and one of the things that remains is the music. The music is like half the game for me. The music, it puts you on situation, it transmits you the urgency and importance of the situation where you are at, what's happening. When I say music, I'm including sound effects as well. Maybe I should change so it's better reflected. Music and sound effects. Music is 49% of storytelling in this game. Maybe not 49, maybe it's 30, but it's very important. It's a big part. Music, it puts you on the situation. Before you start playing, you are in the main screen on the menu, and the music is telling you, be prepared because you are going into a big adventure, and the music transmits that perfectly. Then you start the game and you have some quiet music, some action music. It depends on if what the scene you are witnessing is something that is low key or is high key. So it's like someone's on a hammock dying because they are ill, or is a massive kraken, octopus, squid giant thing throwing people in the air and explosions and spears everywhere. Music tells you in this game. You almost, I would say that you could play this game with your eyes closed. Maybe not to that point, but you would have a very close idea of what's happening with your eyes closed. Sound effect as well. When you start a memory, between the screen goes black until you start seeing what's surrounding you, there are some dialogue. You are listening to the sound, you are listening to people, you are having a conversation or something's happening, but you don't see that in first person straight away. You can read the text and you can hear what's happening. So your mind is playing you are imagining what's happening, and the game creates that in you through the sound. If someone's dying, they are like choking, they are being asphyxiated, or there's someone sneaking, or all the little sound effects and all these sounds you can appreciate because you don't have your vision active. So your mind is like, oh, what's happening? I'm imagining that something like this and like that, and that plays in favor of the game. And finally, my biggest positive is, as I said in the beginning, it's this game. The most important thing of this game is the story it tells, but not the story itself, is how the story is told. So my biggest positive is storytelling. I think it's the thing that I will remember the most about this game, aside from the big action events, is how the story is told. And this story, I think it's quite unique, and it's difficult to see something similar outside of a video game. Because yes, it starts from the ending, not from the beginning. That's for starters. The game starts at the end. And why would you start at the end? You are showing your reveal, your big reveal. You are showing it at the beginning. And that's intentional, I believe. Because the big question is not transmitted to the player at the beginning, but at the end. At the end, you see something you don't understand and something shocking. So this is the introduction of the game. Like in the player, it creates this curiosity and this big question that is how all these people in this ship got to this point. And that's the hook of this game. So you want to find out how the situation got to that point. And then the game goes in reverse, making big jumps until you get to the beginning. So you are immediately hooked. You are at the beginning of the game, but you've seen how the ending is. You want to find out what happens in the middle and how the thing go down the road to get to there. Starts at the end, and this game does big jumps backwards. At some point, it takes you by the hand. It doesn't let you go, and it takes you by the hand through some memories. And one memory, another memory, it's linked to another memory and links with another memory. And these small jumps, within one big jump, there are small jumps. These small jumps are scripted. You can't go off track. And then you can stop for as long as you want. But you are seeing the scene in a like kind of big picture. In the overall, this is what's happening. But later on, you will realize this is an onion and there are layers, and you will start narrowing down the information to maybe focus on one person to another person. So the first sweep that you do through the game, you get an overall idea. But this game has many layers, and you will want to go back and revisit some memories so that you can uncover what layer is behind the first layer and the second layer and the third layer, and you narrow down to one person to another person depending on what your focus and interest is, depending on the person you are tracking or the information you are after. So you start at the end, you do big jumps, and you get to the beginning, and then you can go to any chapter and start uncovering and then seeing the story in order to know how in hell got to the end point. And then as you move forward, chronological order, you can stop and you can focus, and then you can pay more attention to little details. Also, as I said with the sound, you are witnessing these memories, but these memories, they don't play. There's no action. There's no action in the literal sense. These scenes are like stopped. This is the moment, the right moment where this person died, but nothing's moving. Everything's static. You see the right moment this person died, but there's no animation. So you kind of are like a ghost. You are witnessing this moment, but you can move through the scene in 3D, and you are continuously processing information and imagining. It's like you open a book and you are not watching letters, but you are there. You are within the scene that the book is telling you about. So you are immersed in this situation, and you are, oh, because this person here, they are together, and this is talking to this other one, and they are living, and this is what's happening. Then there's a gap of no information, and then chronologically next memory, the situation is this one. So between A and B, this is what might have happened. And this all is happening without any animation. So the way that the game is telling you a story without anything moving, it's incredible. I think I have never seen anything like in a video game. Maybe walking simulators because there's nothing moving, but there are some animation. Here everything's static. The only thing I think it's moving is the guy that takes you to the ship is with a boat. The boat is moving because of the waves of the sea. That's the only thing moving, I believe. There might be something hanging from the ship in the present that it's like swinging a little bit. That's all animation. When there are dialogue, when you go through a memory, when nothing. Everything is expressed by static image, even though you can move around and in 3D, but nothing's moving. And with the sound. Sound, when I say sound, I include music. When I say music, include sound. So it's all storytelling. It's all storytelling. It's the story that it tells, the way that it tells the story, how it hooks you from the beginning. It takes you then to the beginning, so you want to know what happened in between. And in between, you are witnessing these moments, but nothing's moving. It's all playing in your mind. And then my last comment is that everything is minimal in this game. Minimal in the good way. Any decoration, everything has gone overboard. There's no animation, there's no actual action, and also the graphic style that the game uses, it might look like primitive and boring because nowadays we are in a race for ultra realism, and we have shaders and ray tracing and path tracing, and everything is about shadows and reflections to the point it's one gets sick of how many advancements and technical jargon. It's a race to nowhere because realism doesn't make games more fun. But this is a discussion for another time. In this game, the graphic style also has been stripped of any decoration and realism. So what remains is something, even the color palette has been reduced to a bare minimum. It's like 2 colors. It's 1-bit game. So what remains, it doesn't distract you from the crude reality and the truth of the events that happen. So what remains is just horrific. And I think the game transmits you that. What you are seeing is what happened. And what happened is not that, oh, someone died because they were stabbed. It's transmitting, this game is transmitting the feeling, how horrendous was what happened. And it's telling you right on, no color, no sweeteners, no nothing. And the graphic style is playing in the same way, I believe. That's my opinion. It's not letting you sweeten it in any way. And even worse, because there's no detail. You can't see the faces, you can't see. It's like old horror movies that they didn't have a big budget, so they relied more on not showing you things, so you were more scared of what you were imagining. This game is the same. It's not showing you, it's letting you make up your own with the sound, with the music, with the graphic style. it's like incomplete, so you complete it with your own fears. And this game could be studied as a model for storytelling in all these aspects I'm talking about, like the way the how it takes you to the end to bring you to the beginning. So you know the ending, but you don't know why. So you want to know why. The big secret is why, not what. And then it takes you to the beginning and it lets you go through as fast or slow as you want, pick up details that you didn't see in your first go through in reverse, and then it tells you the story through sound and music and strips decoration of any kind. And the graphic style also it pulls the game towards that. So this is my opinion, positives and negatives about the game. As you see, the negatives compared to the positives, still negative, but not as important as positives are the positives. Negatives are not so negative as the positives. And with this, I'll give you my final score that will summarize all this in one image. I expect. So, in having said that, my final score for Return of the Obra Dinn, it's a Guernica, the Pablo Picasso painting, out of 10, because this game has been reduced to its minimal elements, and the few elements that remain, they play together along towards giving you a feeling that it's similar to what the painting wants to express. This game doesn't have any kind of animation. It tells you a story where elements are not emotion, and also you are listening to conversations, but you are not seeing what's happening. So you are recreating the scene in your mind through the sound. Also, aesthetically, this game, it looks primitive, and the color palette has been reduced to just 2 colors because it's a 1-bit game. So it's similar to those pieces of art where you don't get the whole picture, you don't get the whole story, and you have to fill in the gaps with what your imagination recreates. And these elements work towards giving you a feeling of cruelty and the crude story that what happened in this ship, what happened, it was horrific and it was despicable and awful. Same as with the painting. Also, the painting, it's a very large, it's a very big piece of art. The image you are seeing here is not even the complete painting. This painting is like 2-story tall and it's massive. In a person would be a third of this image. If you put a person in front of the image, it would be like a third, maybe a bit more. It's massive painting, and you can have one impression from far. You can get the whole picture, but also you can split the painting into different parts where you can see different elements that they are separated, but at the same time they work together, same as with this game. This game, it's a complete story told by different scenes, different memories, and all together they give you the final complete story. Also, this game, I believe it's a bigger game than what it seems. It seems like an indie and very simple. So it's a minimal game because it reduces all of its elements to the bare minimum. But what remains works well together, and it's pulling you towards giving you a kind of feeling and sentiment that it's equal to what the painting wants to transmit. The shapes and the colors of the painting, they want to transmit the horrors of what happened, same as this game. This game is stripped of any decoration. It's presented in the bare minimal things. So what's missing, it's filled by your mind completing it with your imagination, playing with the sound, with the music, with the voices. You don't see anything moving in this game. So everything is your mind all the time working and deducting and trying to find out some information. And I think this score summarizes very well what you are going to feel and what you are going to be presented with. What you are going to witness is something terrible that happened, not that it's based on true stories, at least that I know. This game, not the painting. Painting is based on true events. But this is my score for Return of the Obra Dinn. It's a Guernica out of 10. And with this score and these positives and negatives, I hope my opinion is clear. As usual, thanks again for sharing your time with me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.